What's up, guys, and happy 2021. Welcome to the Hungover Podcast 2.0. We're back, and we're going to try
It's almost
our
3.0.
Might as well be an entirely new podcast because no one listened to any of the other episodes anyways. But we're coming at you hot in 2021. We're going to try our best to upload every single week a podcast. It doesn't matter how long. Maybe 30 minutes long, maybe an hour long, and then once a month we're going to be doing our best to do a heavily researched topic where we have a deep dive into something that Ivan and I are particularly interested in. What's the first topic going to be, Ivan?
Well, we didn't for sure decide, but yes. I had suggested that the first heavily researched topic we do is best movies with child actors. Best children. The first one we're doing is best
pedophiles.
Children. Okay. This is how we're opening podcast 2.0?
I don't know.
We are the best.
Okay. Look, anyways,
no, this is great.
You're already
we're
on
keeping
for
this
the ride.
all in.
All 140
you know what else?
Of us. Okay.
I have discovered that since I lost all this weight, and
yeah, you look great.
Thank you. I have no idea what you look like because your camera's not working at the moment.
You can watch the video on youtube.com/hungovergaming.
I have noticed that I've got Bill Skarsgård lower lip going on when I smile. It's just like that.
Is that?
I got it face.
Oh
God. My regular smile, if I don't do my standard side smile, I look like it.
And thanks for listening, everyone. This has been the Hungover Podcast 3.0.
It ties into the film thing that we want to do. It ties in, because I think those kids in It Part 1 in particular were some of the best child actors of my lifetime.
Yes, so to reiterate, the heavily researched topic for January will be the top 10 best child actor films. So films in which children are the stars.
Yes.
It shall be a interesting topic. There are a lot of really great movies that we like.
Do you think The Sixth Sense, would that count with Haley Joel Osment, or does it have to be an ensemble child cast?
No, I think just one child counts. I have one. Why don't we not spoil it? We'll come up with the rules.
I want to know what the rules are. Give the audience the rules. That way, when we get to it, they know what to expect.
I see. Well, the rules are at least one child as a main actor in the film.
Okay, sounds good.
That's decent. And Star Wars Episode 1 doesn't count. Because that movie's trash. Anyways, what are we talking about today, Ivan? Actually, we start our podcast out every single week because it's a weekly podcast now by asking ourselves. We're back. We're back. What did you drink last night and what media have you been consuming? However, because we haven't done a podcast in a year, I think our first order of action shall be, and the entire topic of this podcast shall be just to catch you guys up on our lives. Ivan, if anything comes to mind immediately, just go for it. Just
I'm still playing XCOM 2, War of the Chosen.
That's a serious thing. He still is. I don't know why.
I'm in that nostalgia cycle where I was in between games. I just finished Wasteland 3, and I wanted to play another a turn-based strategy kind of, what is it called? A turn-based team strategy, whatever.
RPG.
The XCOM genre, basically. And I finished Wasteland 3, and I was like, you know what? There's no better version of this game than the XCOM series, so I'll just go back and play it. So it's been a while, and I haven't been playing shooters lately because I was working on films for a few months, and I got out of practice of playing any video games, basically. Yeah. And then I'm slowly getting into playing more video games. And shooters are highly intense to me because I want to be good at them. But if I haven't played them in forever, then I'm obviously not going to be good at them. So there's some like weird block. But we've been playing Call of Duty a little bit. We played it like a couple times, and that was a lot of fun. So I might actually play Overwatch one of these days to get back into it.
That sounds like fun. Sounds like fun.
In the games front, I also bought a bunch of Nintendo games for Switch, and I have played almost none of them.
That's a disappointment, Yvonne.
Except for Mario Party.
You played
Mario Party.
Yeah,
I know, right? Because I bought there was that the Mario 3-pack with the
3D All-Stars.
Mario 64 and Sunshine and the other
Galaxy.
One. There we go. It's the Mario 3-pack, and I bought that, and I also bought Breath of the Wild with the expansion pack, planning to play all of them, and I've played none of them.
Well, they'll always be there for you. Nintendo Switch is a good pal.
Yeah, I've discovered, though, that playing on that small screen is difficult for my eyes, because, I don't know, because I'm getting older, because I'm 30 now.
Oh, my God. We're too old to be doing this on the internet. But that's why you can put it on the big screen, buddy. That's the
I know,
point.
and I've set that up, but I was traveling for a while there because we were visiting people for Christmas and New Year's, and had a fantastic Russian New Year's.
Nice. Russia.
Yeah, during that time, I drank a lot of champagne. Laura's dad does this great thing over the holidays where he'll just be like, hey, do you want some bubbly? And I'll be like, yes, I do want some bubbly. So basically every day is champagne day. So that was great. Awesome. So and it's really good champagne too.
That's good. So you had two families to go to. That's really fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I mean, it probably ended in everyone yelling and crying. And...
No, actually, this year, really good Christmas, really good New Year's. I both of them were actually a lot of fun, so it was a good time had by all.
I'm glad you had a happy time. Did you have any eggnog?
We made our own eggnog at home.
How was it?
Yeah, but it was more like a Tom and Jerry batter, so it was like this really fluffy. It wasn't like that creamy eggnog. It was really fluffy. Thick. So it was whipped egg whites, whipped cream, and then folded in was like some yolk, cognac, and sugar. So you did egg yolk with cognac and sugar, and then whipped that let that rest overnight, and then you whipped up soft peak egg whites. And then folded that together, and then folded in whipped cream. And I have the recipe, and Julien, I need to send you this if I didn't already. It was like it was a bucket. It was like a 5-gallon bucket of this fluffy eggnog.
Oh God!
And I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? So I started.
It's mostly air. You can just eat it. I guess.
I know, and you had to eat it because you couldn't drink it. Luckily, I had fresh nutmeg I could grate on top of that because nutmeg lasts for a lifetime. I've bought one jar, and I'm pretty sure I'll die with that same jar of nutmeg.
Well, it sounds like you could put it... It's like essentially a whipped cream, so you could just put it on a cake or something.
We were going to, but then I started... So what I started doing was I lost like 50 pounds and ran a marathon over this past year. So in order to accomplish that level of dropping weight, I bought a kitchen scale. So I could measure everything out, like by grams and ounces. So I did 6 ounces of hot water, 6 ounces of the eggnog, and then like an ounce, I added an ounce of either Courvoisier, so cognac, or bourbon, and shuffled that up. And it was kind of like a Tom and Jerry. So that ended up being the way that I consumed the majority of it. And then I probably tossed like a third of it down the drain.
I don't know if it should go down the drain. This is mostly fat.
I'm a renter, so I don't really care.
Could have just put it in the trash. It would have been fine. The raccoons would have eaten it. Come on.
We have raccoons.
I'm sure
like,
you
not
do.
us, but in our neighborhood. I've seen them. They're so fat and fluffy. It would be cute if they wouldn't destroy homes.
Oh, they are horrible creatures, really. They're just the worst.
So movies have been a thing, right? But I did manage to see Tenet in theaters.
That's impressive.
I saw it in IMAX.
I saw it on my TV because there are no theaters that exist anymore.
Yeah, they're all dead.
But it was still great. I still really enjoyed it.
You did?
Yeah.
We've got to have a Tenet breakdown.
We can do a Tenet review next week.
Next week, Tenet
today,
review.
Right now, if you want.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah,
I really think it requires a second viewing. Also, the first time I viewed it, I was like really anxious because we were going into a movie theater in the time of COVID. And even though it was IMAX, and so it's like a 200-seat stadium seating, and there were 10 people in there, and this was literally the first day that you could go back into movie theaters.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to get COVID. There's no way I'm not getting COVID.
Yeah, no, that movie, I feel like, if I had to put an opinion on it right now, I feel like it was super awesome, and I like Christopher Nolan. He does a lot of similar shots, I've noticed, in a lot of his movies, or of recent times.
You did the Christopher Nolan deep dive before Tenet, right?
I did it. It was great. So that's why, I don't know. Anyways, but I think he went a little too far with his complexity. Because I think he's become known for making really cool, complex sci-fi movies that are grounded in reality in some way. But I feel like this one went a little too far. I think it's a little out of hand.
I thought Interstellar was like the maximum of like Nolan injecting Nolanness into it. It's like, I know just enough about science that this could make sense. But he also loves to fuck with time.
I've consulted with just enough scientists.
Well, we need to get into a deeper breakdown because this movie, it was something else.
It was a lot, and I actually did not know what was going on probably 50% of that movie. Maybe 90.
I don't think Christopher Nolan did.
90. I don't think he did either. Anyways, yeah, that's a lot, man. So you ran a marathon. How life-changing of an experience is that? Yvonne's goal of 2020 was to run a marathon for some reason, because he couldn't make 2020 more difficult on himself. He had to run a marathon.
It was the only thing that drove me going forward. I went to bed and woke up, and if I did one thing that day, which was prep for my marathon, I considered it a success.
Right,
because I was not working at all.
And for viewers who haven't listened to us in a long time, because we haven't done a podcast in a year, what you do for a living is you work you're an art coordinator on a movie team.
Yeah, art department coordinator for feature films. Yeah,
so obviously when COVID hit, you were out of work for a good 6 months, it sounds like, right? About?
From March until I think I did some reshoots in like August. The team that we were working with was like the first, one of the first Disney projects to come back online.
So that's 5 months of unemployment, and you decided to focus on your health, which was a really good idea, I think.
It really helped to alleviate the amount of pull I felt to drinking every day.
Yes.
So I limited myself to between 12 and 1,300 calories for like the first few months. Then as the miles started packing on, I started getting too hungry to hit that mark. So it was like, once I was running 60 to 70 miles a week, I was doing like 1,500 calories a day or a little more.
Right. So that's pretty extreme.
Like and I had a cheat day once a week. So
Good.
I would eat basically as much as I wanted.
That's literally for your psyche. It's nothing else to do with
Yeah,
anything else.
it's just like I measured time by how many days it was since my last cheat day or till my next cheat day, because otherwise time didn't matter.
Otherwise, it was just tenant. Oh my god.
Yeah, basically. And so I had made a promise to myself years ago that I would finish a marathon before I turned 30, therefore be the youngest person in my family to complete a marathon, because we're highly competitive between ourselves. And so at the age of 29, with like a few days to spare, I ran my first marathon.
I gotta do it now. It's now or never. I can't believe you left it. You always leave things to the last moment. You literally always leave things to the last moment. You're
I think in
unbelievable.
college I filed for my Middle Eastern Studies major 3 days before we graduated.
I feel like you searched for all possible marathons in 2020 that I can sign up for in my 29th year. This one is the closest to my birthday. I'm running that one. That's the one.
It ended, yeah, because so what happened was I signed up for the Buffalo Marathon, which is in May. I was going to run that and run it really poorly because I was undertrained severely. But then COVID happened and it got canceled. So then I was hoping to sign up for this marathon on October 11th, hoping that the furthest I could push it possibly.
Yeah, your birthday's the 19th or the 13th?
Yeah, so it was the week.
It's the 19th, yeah.
It was literally the week before.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. You're unbelievable. That is so cool.
But that one got canceled too, so I didn't even run it virtually. I just clocked 26.2 miles, and I ran that along a path that I'd been training on. And my sister rode her bike next to me the whole time, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really, really good time. My knee started... So I picked up an injury during training about like a month before. And then on the day of the marathon, my knee started to hurt a little bit at mile 4. And by mile 18, it forced me to stop moving.
Oh, boy.
So I was like, fuck. I thought I had gotten out of the possibility of not being able to finish it by like mile 16. I was like, I've gotten through the worst. The pain had gone away, and at mile 18, like I was forced to stop. Like I couldn't walk. My whole family was behind me. My parents had driven in, but they got a late start, so they only got in towards the I guess last hour of the marathon. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be forced to quit at mile 18. But I like stretched out my leg as much as I could. And then I started going again, and every time, so I was taking like nutrition every 3-ish miles or something like that.
With just like through a powder and liquid or something, or like
a goo pack.
Oh, the goo packs. Yeah.
Yeah, goo packs and water and Gatorade or whatnot, like alternating what I was getting. And every single time I walked to take in nutrition, then I started going, and every single time I had to like hammer my leg with my fist just to like
just to
get
stop
something going, like like restarting Neo's heart or something. It was really painful, but I finished within 10 minutes of my goal time. So my goal is to do 4 hours, and I finished at 4:10 and change.
That's amazing, man. That's like gotta be a really life-changing experience to be able to do that.
I'm gonna do it again impressed. Too.
Yeah, it's like it's runner's high, dude. You're in it for life now. You're gonna run so many marathons. It's literal runner's high.
Yeah, so my watch predicts that my marathon time should be 3 hours and 20 minutes, which would be almost an hour improvement. But I don't know if I can do that. But my speed, actually, because I've just started getting back into running again because I was working through that injury, so I was doing physical therapy. So my mile time, like for my work, my base run and stuff has dropped by like a minute basically. And I think I could have actually run my first marathon faster, but I was running it a little slower to make sure that I could just finish it. So now,
Well, hey.
I'm working on improving my speed and doing more speed work and preparation and everything. So I'm pretty excited about what the future holds for my running and eventually getting back into the gym and doing some lifting. Because I want to drop down to like 180 again, or I was in the 90s, so I want to drop down to 180 and see how my marathon goes there, and then go back to lifting to get back up to like 200-ish with some muscle.
Yeah. Nice. That's really great news.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Keep it going. Gonna keep it going. Keep the dream alive.
So Buffalo Marathon, May Memorial Day. Hopefully, if everybody can get this COVID vaccine, then we should do well.
Oh, hey, maybe they'll actually transport it to Buffalo. Who knows?
My dad works at a research hospital, or he's a researcher at a cancer treatment center, and he got vaccinated.
Oh, your dad's already vaccinated?
Yeah,
That's
he got
amazing.
his first round.
That's so good. So you can actually see your dad. Well, yours, but he didn't care. He's like, I drink enough vodka to kill anything. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm the only person in my family that drinks vodka. I know, it's really ironic. It's the person who grew up the most American who drinks the vodka.
That's hilarious. That's good news, man.
Yeah, so my next movie is actually coming out on the 15th. We might be able to do a review of it.
Can't wait, yeah.
Watch it, get a review done, and then we could do that as one of the pods.
Yeah, can you tell us what movie it is yet?
It's called The Ultimate Playlist of Noise.
Okay.
You can find the trailer on YouTube or wherever you find trailers. It's a really sweet story about a high school kid who loves music and putting together playlists, and he does it for his whole school, friends, etc. And he finds out that he's got a troublesome disease. The only way to solve it, which will possibly remove his hearing. And so he goes on a journey. This sparks some wanderlust in the kid. And the story follows his trip. So it's pretty cool.
Does this take place in America?
Yeah.
Very cool. That sounds fun. Maybe
you'll see some New York City shots, you know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Maybe I'll see. Maybe they filmed it up the block, just like John Wick. Oh, man. Keanu Reeves, am I right?
John Wick. I love Keanu Reeves. I love the John Wick series. We should do a deep dive on the John Wick series.
We can do that, too. Tell us in the comment section below, please.
I think we're just really movie starved.
I think we're just going to turn this podcast into a movie review podcast. It started out, obviously, just as a topical podcast, but I don't know if we can necessarily sell that. People are looking for something specific, so maybe we should specify what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But today,
especially with that PhD in chemistry that you're using all the time.
I'm using it all the time. It's like you're using your whatever degree you got. Who fucking knows what you got, dude? Right?
Yeah. You know what? I learned Excel in undergrad, and I use Excel all the time at work.
Oh my god. I am currently a butcher, and my boss just put together this Excel spreadsheet. And he was so proud of himself. I was like, buddy, just ask me to
Welcome to 1999.
Oh my god. He did an Excel spreadsheet to calculate, like, curing. We cure a lot of meat, like hams and things. So if we put the weight and bacon, he essentially made an Excel spreadsheet to calculate all the spices and salt percentages if you just put in the weight in a box in a cell, and he was very proud of himself. I'm like, congratulations, thank you so much
for
doing this. so much easier.
I mean, excellent, but I figured that you guys would have had something like that
I
already.
know that I was like, wait, we seriously
That's shocking.
have to calculate it ourselves? All right, I mean, I can do it, but okay. Anyways, yeah. So for my 2020 journey, we started it out. I had just finished culinary school after getting a PhD in chemistry. That's probably around the time when we stopped doing podcasts. But then I got laid off.
I was surprised that you left school, to be honest.
Yes,
I'm
I know.
surprised that you didn't just do the next thing.
I'm pretty much still in school, let me tell you that much. But
it is an apprenticeship,
yes.
so I guess it's as close to like a work-study program as you can get.
Pretty much, I'm in school right now. So basically, let's see. Yeah, I had a job working at Citibank in the
executive
corporate
dining.
Executive dining for a little bit, for like the first 3 months of the year, and it was going well, and then we stopped getting any sort of business, so they just like, look, we're gonna have to. They basically told me that we're gonna like they're not cut the staff, but they didn't actually fire me, let me put it that way, or furlough me.
That's a strong way to put it.
Yes. They just wanted to do alternating weeks where half the staff comes in one week, half the staff comes in the next week. And so I figured, it's probably not going to work out for me here because of the way things are going. I'm going to try to find something else. And I'm trying, I looked up, I found an apprenticeship program at a whole animal butcher shop, which is, the next best thing. Probably. It's still food related. I do want to work
an executive
with
dining service.
Yes.
It's like one step down or a lateral move. Executive dining butcher shop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, the amount of things that I've learned it's been astronomical. I don't know. I'm so much better with butchering. Obviously,
it's just a funny comparison. I don't think that like if you're going into culinary and you want to cook meat, I think that there's no better way to get the crash course than a butcher.
Exactly. So we get in like whole poultry, obviously, but we also get in whole pigs and lamb and cows. So I am currently working on beef, and I can break down an entire cow right now. So I feel somewhat accomplished.
How do you get Sorry to put this crassly, everyone. What is like the beef carcass like? Do you get like
we get it in 8 parts.
Half?
No, so we get the pigs cut in half the long way, minus the head, but we get the head. It's just separate, so I guess it's in 3 pieces technically, and then we get our cows in 8 pieces. So we have the hind leg. It's each side. You get the hind leg, the loin, which has New York strip, and the belly, so it has, it's called the flap. It has flank steak, bavette, and then you get your tri-tip, sirloin, and culotte, which is a nice steak.
I can't wait to grill over the summer with you in real life,
buddy. Let me tell you, I know a lot about meat now, more than I ever wanted to know. And then next up, if you move further along the middle section of the cow, you get your ribs. You get, if you can imagine, right, there's the ribs are, encompass the stomach, and then further down the back there are the ribs. I don't know if you've ever seen a skeleton of a cow, right? That it has the long ribs, and then further along there are no ribs, essentially, or it only goes a little further down. It's not as long, but basically there's the ribs, which have the skirt steak, carne asada, and the ribeye, which everyone fucking loves. Oh, tenderloin's on the loin.
Dude,
section,
the ribeye
obviously.
is so delicious.
Yeah, I mean,
the marbling is incredible.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, let me tell you, that's all anyone fucking wants. I've learned how the customers are a lot to deal with. They're a lot. And then if you move up, you get the chuck, which is the shoulder of the cow and the first 5 ribs. And that's where all my favorite cuts are. You got like brisket, you got stewing meat, you got the chuck eye roll, you got the pot roast, you got the Denver steak. These are all
Denver steak.
Denver steak's really fantastic cut. It's the extension of the ribeye. The short rib muscle into the shoulder, and it's got some really great marbling, and you can just cook it like a steak. It's fantastic. But yeah, so I'm currently. The chuck is fucking heavy, and they make me handbrake it down because I'm learning, so I have to carry it. Not only do we carry it down, I mean, on delivery day, like, there are literally in this butcher shop, it's a small company owned by 2 people, and there's literally like, we've got like 5 employees, so it's like all hands on deck on delivery day. We're all carrying in incredibly heavy, large pieces of meat.
Is it once a week?
Yeah, well, we've been doing double deliveries lately, so we get twice, like every 2 weeks then, at this point. Just to ease the load on the owner, who drives up to the farm on Tuesdays and then drives on Monday morning, I guess, and then drives back down Monday night, essentially, with like bacon and all the animals, because they have a smokehouse up there. They couldn't figure out how to get the licensing to do smoking in-house, so he has to smoke it up at the farm. But we cure bacon in our shop, which is not particularly difficult. But yeah, essentially I've learned how to break down a pig. I can do that pretty efficiently now, and now I'm working on cows, which have like an exponential amount more meat than like it's crazy. So I'm learning how to utilize the whole animal, which I think is really awesome. There's so much meat. There's so much meat. It's out of control. And you learning how to maximize your profit from an animal is really important for this business, and letting nothing go to waste, including the bones, is like super awesome. I'm learning how to figure all that out. It's like not something that I ever anticipated learning how to do, and I don't necessarily intend to use this for my profit in the future, but it's something valuable to learn about, and something I definitely wouldn't learn at all if I didn't do this apprenticeship. So I'm really happy that I'm doing it, and we'll see what I do with it in the future. I don't know yet. I do intend, however, to get a smoker. That's definitely one thing I intend to do.
I would love to have a smoker too. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds pretty amazing.
Smoked brisket.
Smoked sausage.
Smoked sausages. Nikki got me the meat grinder for the KitchenAid.
Hey, so I have one of those.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sick. Have you been using it?
It's a whole ordeal. It's super easy to use.
I know it's easy. It's not that complicated. It's just like you gotta clean everything, and you gotta have enough things. You gotta block out a day to do it if you're gonna.
What are you talking about?
If I'm gonna grind meat, I'm gonna make sure I make a lot of sausage or something. I know you could just use it to make ground meat.
I made a chicken. The last thing I did is I made chicken burgers.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds great.
That was super simple. But I grinded way too much, because obviously you grind.
Yeah,
like you don't realize how much you're grinding usually, because it's just like, oh, it's a chicken breast or whatever. It'll grind out to this much, but it always is like 3 times the amount that I planned. So my burgers, I made them into more like just like square patties.
Nice.
It was amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, I grind meat every day that I work at the shop, so I don't know.
So you're bored of it?
No, I'm not. It's just I've grinded like 30 pounds of meat all at once. for our sausage processing. So it's just like if I'm going to do it, when I set it up to use, I would like to. I wanna learn how to make some dry cured. My eventual goal is to make some dry cured sausages. So I need to first figure out how to control.
Is that like a Chinese style sausage? Is that
no? Like pepperoni's a dry cured sausage, or
I was just
salami.
trying to figure out
I do want to
because you brought Chinese sausage to college once, and it was one of the most delicious.
That is my favorite sausage.
It was one of the most delicious sausages I've ever had.
I do want
simple dish of rice, bok choy, hot sauce, and Chinese sausage, and it's like it's so intense.
So good. Yeah, I gotta learn how to make those. So I want to make those. I want to make some Italian dry cured sausages, but first I need to figure out how to control moisture efficiently, and that may involve getting some sensors because I'm a scientist.
Look at you putting that degree to work.
I'm gonna do it. Open up Julien's sausage shop.
Sausage sop.
Sausage swap. So yeah, I've been doing that for almost a year now. It'll be a year in March.
Oh my God, that is so soon. Isn't it? Wait, is your apprenticeship over in a year?
Yes, it is officially over. I mean, they're gonna. I think they're gonna be testing me. Like they've standardized the process, which I actually really like. I think it's pretty cool. So they give me a chicken test, a pig test, and then eventually a cow test, which I'm going to take, I think, probably at the end of this month. I hope. Where they give me a certain amount of time to break down an entire animal, essentially. So hopefully I can do that. I managed to prove myself this far. I'm not backing out now. I got this.
How would you say cool. that Iron Chef Brigade game? How much do you think that has helped you prepare?
That game, oh my God, what was the name of that game? Chef Brigade. We played that on this channel. The fantastic game. I never beat it. Still have. Did I get it on Switch? Yeah, I have it on Switch. I need to beat that game.
That was one of my favorite games to both edit and watch you play.
Oh yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that game was a lot of fun. That game's so dumb. What the hell? Why did they make that game? Oh man. But yeah, so I know a lot about meat now. And let's see. I didn't see my family.
What food did you do for New Year's? What did you do for New Year's and Christmas?
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This year I'm gonna try to stream a lot more, video game wise, of course. But also I've been getting into cooking streams. So I did stream my New Year's meal. I bought a whole duck from work. And I'm going to be doing once a month a cooking stream on my channel. You can check it out. Links in description below. Let's see.
Duck à l'orange.
Duck. The most French meal you can possibly have. Just duck with a really complex sauce. That's delicious.
It was in The Departed. He's like, they got this, but they don't have duck à l'orange. It's just like you go to a French joint, you expect them to make. Like you go to an Italian joint, they don't make meatballs. So funny.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. Deep dive into The Departed. There's something to say there. I made duck à l'orange, which is actually I learned how to make it in French culinary school. Is one of my favorite things that I made there. That was one of the first meals when in culinary school, at least the one I went to the French Culinary Institute, also known as the International Culinary Institute now. Culinary Center, sorry. Because they don't want to be pretentious anymore. Jacques Pepin. But basically it's in New York City. I had a great time there. But basically you work in Paris for the majority of your time there. It's a 6-month program. That was the first meal that I did entirely by myself because I didn't have a part. I was just like the odd one out, and then I happened to be the first person to present that day. So fuck everyone in my class. So I'm gonna say I'm so much better than Ollie. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyone who watches this, no, I had a great time cooking that meal, and it's outrageously complex. It's not that complex, but it uses like an unnecessary amount of different pans though, and I hate I hate it because I have to clean it up now. Yeah. But essentially, it's not actually that difficult. You just have to manage your time properly. Essentially, a lot of restaurants will roast the entire duck. I think it's a little easier to just do the breast for this particular meal, but because that way you can just slow cook it the entire time and render out the fat, and then just essentially give it like a kiss on the other side to finish cooking it, or you could just throw it in the oven, and then that way you can focus on making the sauce, which is probably the centerpiece of the meal. I would say. I mean, the duck is there to transport this delicious sauce into your mouth, and then duck tastes delicious no matter what because of all the fat involved. It's so good. I'm
gonna say that the French have spoiled cooking for Laura because basically everything she wants is like, but I want sauce with it.
Yeah, no.
And I'm not a big sauce guy. I'm not a saucier.
Dude, it's a game changer. Sauces are game changers. They can really escalate a meal to like the next level. I love sauce.
I totally understand, but like I like dry rub barbecue, and I don't have time to make the sauces.
Well, this one is, you know, all the techniques, Ivan, how to make this. You've made a gastrique before, even though you didn't know what it was called, and then you're like, oh, I made a caramel and I deglazed it with vinegar. And I was like, yeah, that's called a gastrique, man. The French have been doing it for years. And I'm like, yeah, good for you. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do in the world because you can easily burn a caramel. But if you're paying attention to it, it's something that really is quite delicious. And then you use that gastrique to fortify a nice sauce with that is like essentially a demi-glaze, which is like a reduced stock, and then you season it with salt, and then it's like a nice glaze over the duck that you can add some orange juice to, maybe a French squeezed orange, and that's where duck à l'orange comes from. You garnish it with some nice orange peels, the Julien orange peeled orange without the pith,
Mm-hmm.
Really great. Except the annoying part is you have to blanch those. And if you're really French, you have to blanch them 3 times for whatever reason. It's just so they're edible. Yeah, I understand the blanching, but the 3 times, come on, get the fuck out of here. I ain't got time for that. They made me blanch it 3 times. I'm like, why? Why am I pouring out the water and then bring it back up to... This doesn't make any sense. Why don't I just leave it in there for longer? The French are overly complicate cooking. I agree, but they do make some goddamn good food.
Awesome food.
That's been my journey. I've just been a butcher this entire time, trying to stay away from interacting with people, even though I ride the New York City subway system every day.
Yeah,
I still haven't caught COVID. I'm still alive, unless both Nikki and I are asymptomatic for the entire year. We haven't caught COVID, and we're waiting for those sweet vaccines. You know what I mean? Those essential workers are apparently third on the list.
They're third on the list.
Yes, they could
after the medical workers and Trump.
Trump, yep.
He just gets his own
Trump
bracket.
Is number 1. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Did he get vaccinated? Who knows?
He got it, but I also think he got the vaccine.
He got COVID, yeah. Well, I could see the president of the United States getting some priority there. I think it makes sense.
Whatever. I don't really care.
I don't like him, obviously, but I can see... Let's say Joe Biden was there. Shouldn't he be vaccinated?
Yeah.
Right?
I have no problem with it. Just like...
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll trickle down the line to me.
Yeah, eventually they'll drip feed in your mouth.
Before it comes to me, everybody else will have to get revaccinated because it'll only last for 6 months or whatever. So
it's a 2-round vaccination. Oh man, let me tell you. Aside from that, I've been playing games all year, unlike Ivan. What do you want?
I don't know. I did it for a while, and then I stopped playing games for a while. It's the first year of my life where I'm dealing with that. I've been playing so many more board games, it's crazy.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you have been doing that. I'm glad you're happy. Let me put it that way. That's the most important thing. Do what makes you happy. I've been trying to play games, though. I got back into Destiny 2, and then Final Fantasy VII Remake came out finally. That game's super sick.
Is it fully out? Is all of it done?
No, it's just the first part. Who knows when the second part will come out? Probably in 10 years. But at least they got us this far, and I'll tell you, it's really good. It's really good.
Nice.
But otherwise, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's awesome because they put Sephiroth in there. Sick, dude. Sick. But I don't know. I'm just excited to do this podcast again. We don't have to drag it out for any longer. We just wanted to update you guys on our lives and tell you that we are still thinking about all of you YouTube subscribers out there, and we really appreciate everyone who's watched our videos in the past, even the people who dislike them.
For sure.
And I think it's a tall order to make a Let's Play, and I don't think it ever got any sort of viewership, but maybe we can do one in the future. I think for now we're going to stick to the podcast because that's enough for us.
We could for sure do one once a month.
We can do one podcast once a month.
No, I meant the Let's Play.
Yeah, okay, we'll try to do that. We'll see. We're going to work on that. Tell us in the comment section below. I know you guys listen.
We could. I have a D&D. I have a D&D thing that we could. I could convince the guys maybe to start putting up. We meet like about once a week. Well, and we record them on Zoom anyway, so
sweet.
Very easy
That's
enough.
Awesome. And then also, you remember when you made us play CS:GO with all the mods?
Yes.
And you remember how this year the most popular game is essentially the game that you were making us play?
Yeah.
Although it's actually Among Us now. Have you heard of that game?
Yeah, I played it once. I didn't find it all that fun.
Oh, you didn't? I thought it was just something you'd be into. I don't know.
I like the CS:GO aspect because
it's a
I thought we could stretch it out a little bit more, but we didn't.
Remember how we have all that footage? We could still edit it together. We recorded a Let's Play in like the middle of last year. I don't know. When was that? In March? It must have been like March or something.
I don't know.
The beginning of last year. Almost a year ago to the date.
Yeah.
So we have some really great footage. So hopefully we can...
That Last of Us Let's Play is, I think, the best work I've ever put out.
It was great. Yeah. People, please go watch that. Yvonne put hours, days of his life into this one 10-minute video.
Usually, I'm gonna open up the let you in on the backstage. So it's like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that I cut down to a pretty tight, like 12-ish minutes. And I swear to God, I watched it like last month or something, and I was laughing. It was so funny.
I genuinely laughed too. It's a great video. Fantastic.
And I was there. We were making the jokes.
That's a really good video. I'm glad you put it out. I had a lot of fun watching it, and we had almost 50 views on it or something. Or we have a lot of views on it.
It's like I think it's might be close to 100, but yeah.
I had a dream last night that we put out this podcast that we're recording right now, and we got 1,500 views.
That would be pretty impressive.
I'm not gonna lie. This is where my mind goes. The numbers. It's all about the numbers.
It's not about the personal enjoyment of just hanging out with my friend. It's about being popular. Fuck you, Julien. I want everyone else to like me.
No, that's what we started this podcast for, and that's what we're still doing it for, because we love each other. We're great friends, and I hope you guys have a great start to your new year. And we'll be back next week with another exciting episode of the Hungover Podcast. Thank you so much for watching. But Ivan, do you know we end our podcast every single week in a song, in a segment called Hungover Radio?
You know, you asked me that in that exact same way, literally every single time. And sometimes I do remember, and sometimes I forgot. Today, I remembered only because you were like, oh, how do we do this? Oh, I have to pick a song.
You can email a song to gaminghungover@gmail.com. Song selection. Hopefully it's a song that you made, because we want to spotlight your music. We really love all of our viewership. And you can just DM one of us on Twitter. Figure it out. Whatever, dude. But, of course, no one actually has listened to this podcast in a year, so they didn't know that we were going to do one.
Surprise! New podcast!
Surprise, guys! It's 3.0. We don't do this part anymore, but I thought I'd continue the tradition. So today I'm going to play, because I was thinking about Final Fantasy VII Remake today for some reason, and the first thing that pops into my mind when I think about that is Tifa's tits. I'm picking Tifa's theme because I actually do really like the music in the game, and I think that Tifa's theme is one of the best ones. Okay, please enjoy the song. I'm going to go look at pictures of Tifa and contemplate buying a statue of her. She's a really great character.
Yeah, very talented.
Very talented character. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back with a more structured podcast next week, because we were all over the place, because we were just excited to do a new one. Have a good one.
And we also, without you guys, we don't talk to each other. So this is also us updating each other on what's happened.
It's so true. Oh my God. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Hungover Podcast. Goodbye.